Hey guys, this is Anna Sky, and I am so excited to share with you my latest embellishment creation. I'm calling it the Sandbox, and it's a belly band with actual sand inside the invitation. I know, wicked crazy, right? And what would your guests think when they pull this out of their envelope? I've designed it to pair with the Catherine collection that has this adorable starfish and your little matching cards tuck into the back. And so you have your RSVP, if I can get a hold of it, your RSVP card with the starfish and your little direction card to match. And then the belly band that holds it all together, and it has a little Santa starfish in it too. So stay tuned to learn how to make this for your beach wedding. So to get started, you're going to want to download this Sandbox belly band template, and this is going to help us align this window on our belly band. And you can download this for free in the description of the video. You're going to need these cellophane treat bags. You can get a pack of 250 of them on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. A ruler, a bone folder to crease your folds. I'm using a gold marker, and that's just so it shows up on this dark colored paper. An X-acto knife, a scoring tool. This is optional. You can also use your bone folder as a scoring tool. Decorative sand. I found this in the floral department of my craft store. It's a very pure sand. You could obviously use sand for free from the actual beach. I thought this had a nice color. And I put my sand in this candy bottle that I got at the craft store just as a way to kind of make it easy to pour. And the last thing you need is double-sided tape. Now I am using this fancy gun. I go through a ton of tape, so I like to buy it in these rolls. And this is a gun that I picked up at Michael's using my 50% off coupon. And it just allows me to just glide on tape. It's a really helpful tool if you're making your own invitations. It's a little bit of an investment. Like I think it's about $20 with the coupon. But you could use double-sided tape for this project in place of this gun, or those smaller applicators. But this is what I'm going to use. So to get started, I'm going to clear off some space. We're going to go ahead and cut out our master template using the ruler and the X-acto knife. And I have a cutting mat to protect my table service, and it's a healing cutting mat, which makes it really easy to grip and cut when you're using an X-acto knife. I think it's makes it a lot safer, so your blade doesn't just go flying into your hand. But I'm just lining the ruler up and cutting this out. You could cut it out with scissors. You could cut it out with your paper trimmer, this outside part. Just pop that out and get rid of this. Now I'm going to cut the inside piece, and this is where the X-acto knife makes it easy. You could do this with scissors, but it's a lot harder to get those sharp corners when you're using scissors. And this is going to be our master template, and we're going to use it to make our windows consistent on every single belly band. So kind of like a jig for a project. So now I've cut out the middle. We don't need that part. And there I have my jig. Now I'm going to use royal blue scrapbook paper. In my example I used navy because I was picking up the design. You could use any color scrapbook paper, and scrapbook paper is 12 by 12, and our band is actually 4 inches. So you could cut this on a paper trimmer if you're going to make a lot of them. I'm just going to use my ruler and X-acto knife for this. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to mark my 4 inches. So here's 4 and then 8. So you'll get 3 out of each one. 4 and then 8. And then I'm just going to come up here. And I'm going to cut my strip. And I'm just using a gold marker in this example so you can see when I'm making lines onto the dark paper. The top part. So you would cut out, continue and cut out all 3 strips. I'm just going to use this one. And then, see, I want that texture to be on the front of my belly band. So I'm going to flip it over and use this side to do my markings. And here, it's just, I'm going to line it up. And I'm just kind of eyeball it center to center, left to right. You don't have to be exact there because it will more than wrap around, so it will overlap a little bit. And I'm just going to mark my box like so. And then I'm also going to use my bone folder and I'm going to go ahead and score my fold lines using the edge of the paper. And this will make sure that your belly band sits on the invitation perfectly square. So I'm just scoring, and scoring just allows us to have precise, exact folds. So there I have it scored and I have my box. Now I'm going to take my ruler and my X-acto knife and trim out our little frame for the sandbox. Now I was pretty excited that I was able to make a window that held sand, and it got me thinking, you know, what are some other variations you could do? And you could do glitter, or you could do, instead of starfish, you could put seahorses. It's really up to you. Punch that out. So now I have my belly band. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it up. I'm not going to glue it yet, but I just want to get my creases in now, because once the bulk of the sand is in there, it's a little hard to get it to crease perfectly. So now's the best time to crease it. So there's my window all cut out. Now I'm making this belly band to coordinate with the other colorway available in the Catherine collection, and it has the royal blue and the aqua. So for my starfish, I'm going to use this Martha Stewart punch, and the link to pick this up is in the description. And I'm going to use an aqua and orange scrapbook paper to punch these out. And you won't need as many sheets of these colors because, gosh, you could get a ton of starfish out of here. And this is a really neat punch because it gets you the starfish and then these really adorable sand dollars at the same time. So you could put sand dollars or starfish, or set this aside, in your design. I used the starfish because I thought it coordinated. You could obviously go to your scrapbook store or go online and find other beach related punches. You do sea fish or a seahorse, excuse me, or even like flip-flops would be a really cute little punch out. But I decided to go with punches instead of actual seashells because they lay flat when you put them in the envelope. So look at your little punches on your scrapbook aisle, and you could really put just about anything into this scene. So I'm going to set my little sand dollars aside. So now I have my fish, or starfish. I'm going to take my treat bag, and I'm going to adhere it to the belly band. And I'm just going to use my adhesive, and I'm just going to drag it as close as I can to the frame. And again, don't be intimidated by my gun here. They make smaller adhesive guns that cost less, but I find this Scotch brand one to be really, really great. Now I'm going to take the open side of my bag facing up, and I'm just going to adhere it to the window that we've created. And I like to stick the bottom part first and then run up to the top to try to avoid any wrinkling. Okay, so now we have that stuck on. You can see it starting to shape up there. Now we're going to take the sand, and as I mentioned, this is decor sand that I picked up in the flower arranging area of my craft store, and then I put it into this squeeze bottle. It was in the cake decorating section, but you could probably use like a ketchup bottle, anything to sort of contain the sand, because you need to get it into the opening of the bag and not all over your table. So I start dumping this in. I hope you can see. And I give it a couple taps, and you can start to see it filling up into the bag. And then I can see, well, I think I want a little bit more in my scene. And then I tap it down. I think that's a good level of sand. That's really your personal preference. And then I'm going to drop my little starfishies in. And there you can see them in place. I love the way that orange one pops. And now I need to seal my bag. Now I'm going to want to trim this just a little, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over. And I don't want that flap sticking into my window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scissors. And just give this a little bit of a haircut. Cut right along the top of the belly band. Try not to cut your belly band in the process. And then I'm going to take my adhesive, and I'm going to hold the bag and just put a strip of adhesive down like so. And I'm going to fold it over and seal it up like that. And then I also like to put a little bit of adhesive under that flap so it's not sticking up. And just fold that over. And then crease it really good. And there you have it, our little sandbox window with our starfish in it. And I would love to see what you all decide to put in to your sandbox. You could put flip-flops, you could put seashells, any of the punches, and then you wrap it around. And I actually like it where the bride and groom's name kind of stick in the window. I think that's a nice look. And then we tuck in our enclosure cards and RSVP cards in the back. So let's go ahead and seal up our belly band. Now my scrapbook paper had this barcode and branding on the one side, and I don't want that to be showing. So I'm going to tuck that under. I'm just going to put adhesive on the top flap here, and then I'm going to put it on the inside flap there, so it seals at both ends. And then give it a good press. And there the band is complete. And then slide our invitation in like so. So there you have it. The Sandbox belly band, complete with real sand and little sea creatures. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and for more ideas and to get these cards to download and print for your wedding, visit downloadandprint.com.